Ah, the woman's job, cooking, cleaning, caring for the children, taking care of the family. That's all that they really wanted to do. That's all that they could do, as only men could do the difficult, backbreaking, and mentally taxing work.
Actually, this is only what your history book wants you to believe. Women have always had important roles throughout every revolution, especially during the Industrial Revolution and preparing for war. Though jobs women held may have seemed simple to many, they are actually very important and exhausting jobs. I'm Adam Conover. Welcome to Adam Ruins Everything. This episode will be discussing women's roles throughout the Industrial Revolution and revolutions throughout Europe.
Myth. Women had no complex roles in the European Industrial Revolution.
The Industrial Revolution among Europe changed the lives of many civilians.
But we can definitely thank men for all the progress they made in the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But what did the women do?
I don't think much of anything. I mean, I've only ever learned about men's roles.
Actually, women played a huge role in the Industrial Revolution. Some might say they were the backbone of it. You see, women and children had advantages that men didn't have, and despite all of the naysayers, they did have the skill and willingness to work.
They worked in coal mines, textile mills, ammunition factories, and as well as other companies that needed workers with small hands and keen eyes. Because of this, many women were able to take manufacturing jobs. But even though women worked the same jobs as men and held the same positions, women were paid nowhere near the same as men. While men were being paid 10 shillings a week, women were only paid half at 5 shillings.
But why? If they were doing the same jobs, why wouldn't they get paid the same?
Inequality between men and women has seemingly always been a problem. Though it has become more of a myth nowadays, it's still a very prominent issue in many other countries throughout the world.
Wasn't that one of Hillary Clinton's beliefs? Equal pay for everyone?
Yes, it was.
But it's just not fair that women don't get the same pay as everyone else. I mean, we're all human. We're all the same. We should be paid equally.
We haven't had a world where everybody gets along with each other in a very long time.
Myth. Women only wanted to be housewives and not hold the man's jobs.
Even if women held men's jobs, it certainly doesn't mean they wanted to.
What are you implying?
Well, women just wanted to be housewives. You know, they made the meals, took care of the kids, washed the dishes. No one wanted to work in those gross coal mines. Losing your fingers to those weave makers? No way.
Actually, that's another common misconception. Matter of fact, women did want men's jobs. It brought extra income to the family, and even though the income was small, it could go towards anything that the family needed. Alongside this income, women also gained another important thing: pride for the work that they were doing. They were now doing the men's jobs and defeated the stigma that women had to do the feminine duties that were mentioned before: cleaning, cooking, and caring for the children. Not to mention, women that wanted to live alone could now afford to and didn't have to rely on men for financial support.
Thanks for the information, but I don't remember asking anyone.
The eldest daughters would take over the mother's household chores while mom went off and worked during the day.
So the mothers would leave their own family all day to get paid very little and make their children care for each other?
Times were very different back then. We live in a completely different world nowadays. In the revolution, you had to grow up fast.
Seems really unfair to me.
Unfair as it seems, it was the start towards progress towards a more equal world.
Myth. Women didn't hold difficult jobs. They only worked in easy fields like nursing and teaching.
Okay, so I think I'm finally beginning to understand. But one last thing. Some women did have jobs. Some were nurses in war, or they were even teachers. But those jobs definitely aren't as difficult as ones in, like, a coal mine.
You're right. In the 1900s, women did hold the same nursing and teaching jobs that they still do today. And though they may not be physically grueling jobs, they are incredibly mentally taxing.
Deeper breath.
When working as a nurse, you see things that not many people get to say that they can experience. You have to say goodbye to patients that you've been taking care of for years and watch as their health deteriorates. But you can also bring new life into the world. As a teacher, you have to try to teach every student the same information, but no two students are the same and everybody learns differently. Teachers have to create specialized plans of different types of lessons to give every student opportunity that they deserve. So yes, you are correct that their jobs aren't necessarily physically harder than those of stereotypically men's jobs, but there are a lot more mentally and emotionally challenging. I think a lot of people these days forget that not every job has to be physically strenuous to be a good and hard-working job.
About the women's roles in the Industrial Revolution.
Okay, well, the school day's over, so I'm ready to just go home.
Yeah, but I still want to clear things up.
Wow, women really did do a lot for the Industrial Revolution.
Women were the ones that taught people of the future. Without teachers, there would not be anyone for the children to learn from. Also, don't forget what they did in hospitals. They worked every day being nurses or doctors, which is not easy work.
Okay, guys, I get it now.
What's wrong, Aubrey?
I just feel terrible about the everyday life of women. They were treated horribly, and they had to do these hard, taxing jobs. They didn't even get a decent pay for it. Imagine the emotional distress that they went through.
We can't do anything about the past, but we can change the future. Women do not have career restrictions today, and they're fighting hard to close the wage gap between men and women. If you want to help, you can support women's roles today.
But how can I do that?
Many ways. You can donate or attend marches or protests, even writing a simple letter or email. But the most important is setting an example.
Okay, I'm gonna have to start
There are
right
many
now.
ways you can advocate for equality. You can donate time and money to charities, attend marches and rallies, and write letters to state and federal representatives. But the most important thing you can do is set an example. When you set an example for the generations below you, you throw a small stone that makes a big ripple.
You're right. In the 1900s. Okay, wait, guys, we gotta do this. But it's. Hayden. He's such a weenie. Okay.
Excuse me?
I just feel terrible, but. Yep.
Terrible.
Yep.
Cleared and clean. Woman.
Everywhere you look.
To keep.
Dude, that was my shit as a child.
Okay, ready? Buddy, Sassy, go. She's gonna start right now. She's like, yep, I got this.
Like, oh, kill him
Hi.
with your cuteness.
Kill them with kindness.
Did I mess you up?
Shoot me in the fucking face. No.